Sandy and Lonnie Phillips know more than most about the pain and shock of suddenly losing a loved one in a mass shooting.
I was so distraught. I didn't want to take that next breath. I didn't want to wake up the next day.
The couple's 24-year-old daughter Jessica was killed in the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting 10 years ago. In the decade since, their group, Survivors Empowered, has grown in national scope and has now developed a survivor's toolkit.
And it has all the things about being a survivor of gun violence that you need to know, especially with mass shootings.
Everything from dealing with the media to handling social media posts which may be unkind and add to grief, and even one's own social circle.
We try to prepare them for the fact that they're going to lose friends and loved ones over this because you are now a new person and they're not going to know what to do with you.
They came to Buffalo after the Tops shootings, seeking out those most affected by it.
There is hope for these folks. Right now, it's pretty dark.
But they also know there are many in this community who may not have lost a loved one in the massacre, but know someone who did and may be trying to help them and just don't know what to do.
You don't ask one of them, well, what does it feel like? They can't, first of all, they don't know themselves. They can't tell you. You couldn't understand it if they could tell you.
The best thing to tell them is that they are going to live through this, even though they don't want to. And then you listen.
The Phillipses travel the country attending gun violence forums, commemorations of prior mass shootings, and then make what they call unscheduled stops at mass shootings as they occur. It's what brought them to Buffalo this past week and what will now take them to Texas, to the small town where the latest mass shooting occurred, not far from where they live in San Antonio.
This will be our 20th when we get to Uvalde, 20 public mass shootings.
Is going to all these places part of your own therapy?
Oh, of course.
We get a lot from it when we help people.
And meeting those who suddenly find themselves in the shoes that these two have been walking in for a decade.
We're here to hold hands and broken hearts. And then along the road, we start rebuilding them. It's a club that nobody wants to belong to, but once you're a part of it, you can't resign, so you might as well make friends with one another and become another type of family.
Now, Dave, we understand the Phillips had planned a more leisurely journey back home to Texas before the school shooting happened yesterday afternoon. What's going on now?
Well, yeah, that was the plan, Kelly. You see, the Phillipses drove from Texas to Buffalo late last week, but now they're leaving their truck and their trailer here in order to fly back to Texas so they can get there as soon as possible to assist as they can. Then they will then fly back here to Buffalo to collect their vehicles. They figure in a week or so, maybe longer. By the way, we do have more information on the Survivor's Toolkit they offer, which, as we mentioned, can also help those of us who are at a loss for what to do for others we care about during a tragedy. When you look for the link in this story, which will be up on our website, WGRZ.com, very shortly. Kelly?
Dave, they're good people. Thank you for sharing their story.